Hi there, I'm Michael Howe, a character artist and comic creator. You may have found my art online, you may already watch my channel for that, but today we're here for a different reason. I love fantasy and stories, both experiencing them through watching or reading books and movies, or creating them myself. One thing that I love about TTRPGs, or tabletop role-playing games, which, now that I think about it, I'm not playing with the table, so more like an RPG. But games like D&D or Pathfinder or any of the other various systems that exist in that realm, one of the things I like is how the story can get shifted in directions in ways you might never expect or plan for, how a dice roll can really change what goes on. If you're playing with other people, how other people doing things will really affect it. I've also seen and heard of people playing solo RPGs. Like some inspirations for this are Anderson of Kill 10 Rats, or Ayups, who plays her games off camera but then retells the story with her art, and she makes character descriptions from dice rolls. That all seemed really cool to me, both as a new way to tell stories and also to make more of my own characters for me and maybe others to fall in love with. What I'm going to be playing today is a game called Knave. It's a OSR old school rules set. Pretty short, fairly simple, no classes. And it's also going to be my first time solo RPGing, at least in gameplay rather than like following journal prompts for RPG. For if you are new to solo RPGing or Knave or other games, they use something called oracles, where sometimes if you're not sure what's going to happen or you want to see where the story's going to go, you ask open-ended questions and then you roll a die, or in some games you draw cards, etc. But you ask a closed question like, "Oh, is the castle gate open?" And in Knave, on a roll of 1, the answer is no. And 2 through 5, the answer is no. If you roll a 6 through a 9, the answer is no, but 10 through 11 is a shakeup, meaning that the question you asked becomes irrelevant for some reason, or something gets really changed. If you roll a 12 through 14, the answer is yes, but rolling a 15 through 19, the answer is yes. And rolling a 20 on the d20 is yes, and those are for close-ended questions. You can also ask open-ended questions, and in Knave specifically, the Solo Knave rules, you'll roll dice, and then it'll give you like words to then, like 3 words, which then you make into a sentence and have to kind of make up on your own what that means. So with solo RPGs, you're both the player and you and the dice are kind of the GM. So it's an interesting dynamic between what you might be wanting to do and the will of the dice, which you get to interpret even. So it's not even just a straight, oh, yeah, the game or the computer says this. It's you then interpret it through how you think of things. So I think that's a really fun and interesting dynamic. So I expect my game that I'm playing here will be some mix of Knave rules, which I'm mainly trying to follow, at least at the beginning, and then also probably throwing in other things from D&D or my own stuff or my own preferences, or changing things as I play, and we'll see. This first session is my session 0 and then a tiny bit of gameplay, so very dice-based and leaning into some of the closed questions of the system. And so I leave several decisions to the dice, including my own character. That will probably change how I do things in the future. Even as I'm recording this intro, I know that my brain was working a bit harder on some of the story options after the first session, so I can easily see it being less merely dice rolls influencing the story. But we'll see. And with that, let's dive into my first session. I hope you enjoy. It's time for me to roll up my first character. I'm going to be using a mix of Knave version 1 and version 2 for different things, and probably mixing in Dungeon and D&D even, maybe some Pathfinder for stuff overall and throughout. But I may have already said that in the intro. So let's see. First. Okay, so let's do that last. First, physique. Oh, I need to write this down. Oh, wait, am I supposed to write up their stuff first? Oh, okay, yeah, this recommends, or the character creation steps for Knave 1 are actually, like, all the physical stuff is after abilities. I guess I could have changed that up, but it's fine with me. Now I'm realizing I'm curious what version 2 has. So creation, abilities, stats, careers, armor, name. Okay. So that's about the same. I actually only just got version 2 today to have for tables. Okay, so let's go through the character creation steps. Okay. Each ability has to roll 3d6 for each of your abilities in order. Lowest of the 3 dice on each roll is that ability's bonus. Add 10 to find its defense. Okay, 3d6. Oh, I only have 2d6. I need a third one. Okay. So strength is first. I just realized I need to move my keyboard out of the way if I'm going to be taking notes over here. So for strength. 5, 2, 5. All right. Lowest of the 3 dice is bonus. 2, 2, 6 for strength. Lowest die is a 2. Oh, interesting. It's the lowest. Okay. I do remember seeing that this is supposed to be a little bit more of a difficult version of RPGs. And like you're likely to lose your characters quickly. I might try to make that more difficult. But yeah, so it's just it's like extreme disadvantage for the character creation. Dexterity 5, 6, and 1? So I have a score of 11 for Dex with a bonus of 1. Interesting. Oh yeah, and there's no classes here. It's based on like what you get, so I can easily, based as we go, decide things. This is for Constitution 2, 2, 4. Okay. And I saw there was something about you want to be nice for health, make it so. Oh, allow starting HP to be rerolled if it's below 5. Okay, HP is different from these. Okay, so Constitution, bonus of 2, defensive, Constitution defense of 12, which is there, so it's the scores. Knave is worded differently, which I'll have to get used to. Either I'll have to get used to it, or I'll just phrase it in a way that makes sense to me. Ooh, so for intelligence, 5, 4, and 3. So far, intelligence is the highest score. And I believe I start at rank 0. Is it rank 0 or rank 1? It doesn't specify in there. I saw that in 2 it starts at 0, but I also didn't read enough of the rules of 2, so I'm going to just say it's +1. I'm a level 1, whatever that is. Okay. So, wisdom. Oh, geez. 6, 4, and 6. Wisdom.
That is definitely the highest score so far. So, wisdom is used for ranged attacks and saves requiring perception and intuition, such as tracking, navigating, searching for secret doors, detecting illusions, etc. So, yeah, the creator rewrote a little bit of how the stats work because they didn't want dump stats for intelligence classes. And charisma, 5, 4, and 2. Okay. So 2. Interesting. So wisdom and intelligence are the highest. Not what I would have expected for this. Well, I'm rolling randomly. I don't know why I expected anything. I guess assuming I would get some sort of fightery character. I mean, it still could be. Now, the interesting thing, I think I already said this about Knave, is that it's classless, so it's based on what you do and what you pick. So we'll see where this character develops. Okay. PCs start with 2 days of rations and 1 weapon of their player's choice. Roll in the starting gear tables on the following page to determine starting armor and equipment. Rations. 2 days rations. I'm saying I'm a level 1. 2 days rations. Okay, so weapon of my choice. Where are weapons? Here we go. Dagger, cudgel, sickle, staff, etc. Spear, sword, mace, axe, flail, halberd, warhammer, longsword, battle axe, etc. Oh, weapons take up big slots. A sling, a bow, a crossbow, arrows, or quiver. And it says that, let's see, I'm best at wisdom and charisma. Persuade, deceive, interrogate, intimidate, charm. Wisdom is for ranged attacks. Okay, so I'm feeling, and tracking, navigating. You know what, I'm thinking kind of a roguish character because of that. And then a bow, which will be interesting because can't get out of, can't fight their way out necessarily. So, bow and arrows. I'm giving them a bow, arrow, and quiver. And equipment, you only have so many item slots. Oh wait, that's based on your constitution, isn't it? Number of slots equal to their constitution score. So I only get 12 items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, 12 items is actually pretty good. Arrows and quiver in one. Arrows. I'm going to say I get. And I'm not sure if I'm supposed to start with them. Whatever. I'm going to say I have 20. 20 quiver. Okay. Slots. Armor. Right. Starting gear to determine starting armor and equipment. So I roll a d20. Two? Okay. Oh, you're right. It's not attack or anything. It's just what it is. No armor. No armor. 0. Let's see. Helmets and shields. 2. None. Okay. I guess that makes sense for a rangery character. It's definitely leaning into that. Engineering gear. 17 and 17. Oh. I might re-roll one of those. Sack. Yeah, I think I'll re-roll, even though by that roll I should have 2 sacks. That sounds boring. 19. 5 spikes. Alright, I'm not sure what I would use those for, but general gear. 6. Should move my die a little closer. 6. For general gear is a saw. Also, if I'm level 1, maybe I'm not even like a character like a rogue. It's maybe I have these stats, but maybe I'm just a woodcutter. 1 for general gear, 2 incense. Interesting. So then PC is not wearing armor. Their armor defense is 11 and their armor bonus is 1. Oh, okay. So I had recorded it. Why am I... Oh, I was pushing keys. So, I said 0, but I actually get a base. Okay, so current... Roll 1d8 to determine your PC's starting and maximum hit points. Well, I happen to have a d8 right here. So starting hit HP, actually, well, I'll say 7. That's the maximum, and I might flip those around if it's like, I have 7 HP, but I can only have 6. 8. Okay, cool. Let's get rid of all the little windows I opened by pushing buttons accidentally. Okay, 8. Maximum of 8 HP, so I'm pretty healthy right now. Exploration's healing rate is 1d8 plus Constitution bonus. Exploration feet, speed is 120 feet per exploration turn. Combat speed is 40 feet. Invent or roll. Okay, I'm planning to roll the rest of the traits that it has. So we'll start with physique. 10. Scrawny. Okay. Scrawny. Next is a face. 7. Patrician. Let me look up what that means. I just came across that word the other day, but I feel like it was like in a context. An aristocrat or nobleman. Interesting. So that's the type of face. They look like they have a noble house face. Skin. 14. Round. Wait, what? Oh, I looked up at face. 14. Skin is rough skin. Hair. 14. Again, interesting. Mohawk. Cool. If I can spell mohawk correctly. Clothing. 16. Patched. Now for their virtue. That's also on a d20. 3. Courageous. Gryffindor. Vice. What is their vice? If it doesn't study, then I've inadvertently created Harry Potter. 13. Prejudiced. Ooh. That'll be interesting to play. I try so hard to not. Their speech, I don't know their gender yet. Their speech is 2. Booming speech. Their background is... Oh, so this is interesting. On version 1 of Knave, you just roll a background for character creation type stuff. In version 2, you get like a career you had, which gives you more items. But I was like, oh no, I kind of like the idea of just trying to work it in. Okay, so I had the thought, woodcutter, someone who's just a woodcutter out in the woods. But let's see what their background is. So maybe that's different. Actually, it'd be really interesting if they're noble. Is noble on here? Not explicitly. 8. Cultist. Oh no. Oh, they carry incense. All right. So maybe I'm thinking that they were a cultist who is now trying to run away, and so now they're just kind of stuck out in the woods. Misfortunes. Ooh. Oh. 18. Replaced. Okay, alignment. Oh, this is law, neutrality, chaos. Okay, so it's not good or evil. It's just kind of how they tend to react to things. So, I don't know how much I'll lean into that. 4, 1 through 4, law. Lawful. Okay. All right, so that is... Oh, is there no races? Well, let's go to version 2, because I know that has names. I'll probably just roll a... does it have a race roll for version 2? PC creation. Record ability scores, stats, armor, name and describe your character. Huh. Ages 54 through 59. Which I think is just the Yeah, it's kind of the NPC's creation, so that'll work. Surname, personalities, NPC details, professions, goals, assets, liabilities, relationships, mannerisms. Okay, so not a race. Recruit. Okay, so let's say I'm gonna roll on a d20. 1, 6, 12, 18. Okay, 1 through 16. What? Okay, I need to write this down. 1 through 8, male. 9 through 16, female. And then 17 through 20, non-binary. So this is for their gender, and then I can roll names from that. 12, female. Okay. Okay, so female names. Oh, this is a 100-sided dice. So let's get 2 10s. And maybe I'll use the name to decide what race I want it to be. I don't think there's any racial bonuses at all in this game, which is fine. But just what does the aesthetic look like? All right, that's 89. Wait, yeah, 89. Silence. Okay. I feel like that really fits with a cult. What's my name? Your name is Silence. You will be quiet. Okay, so first part of the surname is 22. Chum. Chum. Second half of the surname is 28. 28 down. Chum down. All right. Maybe she doesn't use her surname that much. She doesn't like it. Okay, so that's all the character creation stuff. She has booming speech, so she's trying to resist all the training she had. Yeah, she was in some sort of cult. Maybe a cult of silence. I feel like silence is just a little weird. So she's kept her name. Why has she kept her name if she's trying to resist these things? Maybe it feels weird to like rename herself. She's trying to get away. She's throwing off parts of the old thing, of her old cult. But she is not yet comfortable. Maybe she doesn't even know what she is yet. She's like, okay, silence is what I was. I don't know what I am yet, so I can't rename myself. That sounds like a tiefling trait, honestly. Tieflings, are named based on what they are, what they want. Tiefling? Yeah, I think I'll go with a female tiefling. She only has a bow and arrows and quiver. All right, so yeah, the character is Silence Chumdown, who's a female tiefling. A scrawny. Oh, was she not fed well? Or she might be scrawny because she's only recently gotten away and she hasn't learned how to hunt yet. She based on her scores has the ability to learn how to hunt really well, but at this moment she hasn't quite yet. Patrician face probably did come from a noble family. Does she remember? Slightly. Rough skin, a mohawk, and patched clothing. Yeah, patched clothing. Yeah, I'd say she's kind of been out for just a little bit. Well, actually, maybe more like a month. Month in the woods was kind of where she was up till this point, is my thought. So then, to figure out where we're starting the story with Silence, I'm going to use the the improv prompts from Knave. And so there's like these weird sentences that you create. So you roll an action, a subject, and a how. And that's the way to you make this odd sentence. And then from there you kind of like mix and match and put it together. Let me make sure there's no other notes in here about that. So there's the basic rules of Knave, and then there's the solo rules. Solo rules is a lot of just solo playing stuff.
and then you do the question and answers. So, kind of, where are we? Although, maybe I'll see. I wish I had rewatched Anderson's video of how he was picking, but you know what? I'll play it myself. I'll play it how I'm playing it. Let's see what kind of. I'm just checking what tables we have again. Books, clothing, fabrics, decorations, tools, textures, taste, color, potions, domains, disasters, qualities, effects, blah 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 blah. Dungeons, hazards, mechanisms, room details, room themes. Oh, those are dungeons. Okay, so I'm gonna do this and see what weird results I get, and then create the beginnings of a story from that. Let's see, D20, D8, and D6. So I have D20, D6, and D8. $17. Passion. 8. Subject. 3. Subject, the law. Oh wait, passion, the law. Safely. The law. It says she's a lawful character. Oh, and that could be from training. You know, she's used to following rules and structure. Although it'd be fun if like that's her natural tendency, but she like tries to fight against that sometimes. But that doesn't really give an idea for where she is yet. Safely hiding by a let's see, police station. Well, that's not the right word. Town guard, a watchtower. Let's see. Maybe if it's a dangerous cult and she thinks they're after her, but she wasn't surviving well in the forest. So she's now come into a town and is trying to get near the town guards so that I don't think she wants to befriend them per se, but it's like, oh, you know, if something happens, I can immediately grab a town guard. Is at least her assumptions. Don't know if that happens. So if she's in a town, let's use dungeon to create a random town. Donjon, I'll have the link down below, is a really cool fantasy generator. I've used them for years. Let's see, quests, rumors, random locations, random encounters, loot settings, towns and cities. Default culture, let's do size. Any size, race, any race. Oh, I thought, I hadn't said this till now, is that I am loosely setting this game in my world of Galaen, which we'll find out more of as the story goes. In theory, I have a big basic continental map, but there's huge parts that are not laid out. So I'm both using this as a way to kind of both inspire this story using things that I know about this world, but then also using this story to hopefully build out a little bit more of my world. So let's see. Generate. Mayhill, population 260, mixed human and halfling. Major road. Common stop for adventurers and travelers. Ooh. Thalia, population 1900, mostly humans, some dwarf. Town is built around an ancient stone statue. I like. Oh, okay. So I like these ideas. So I'm mixing a couple of them. Let's go. Thalia. Pop 1900. Let's see. Mix. Actually, this other one's a little more interesting. Mixed dwarf and other civilized races. Mixed dwarf and other civilized races. Most of the cities delved into the sides of a mountain. It's funny, I actually have in the world, because of a D&D game, I already have some dwarf focus, so this would be kind of fun to have a different one. Delved into side of mountain and built around
ancient stone statue. Renowned for intricately carved stone towers. All right, so that's where she's at. She's going to be walking into the city, walking through the city, trying to look for town guard. So a quick and easy thing would be closed questions. Does she find guards? So that's just a straight roll on the die, and we'll see what the result is on the table. 3. No. Okay, she's not able to find guards. So, which is interesting because she had to come in the gate, so it's probably not even super guarded. It's a prosperous and not the word self-assured, complacent. I mean, complacent could work, but it feels safe. They feel very safe where they are. I mean, dwarf cities are pretty fortified. And so they're fortified. They believe that they can quickly shut stuff if it's needing to be closed. There are people at the gate who kind of keep an eye out, but they're probably a little less armed than normal than you might think for a town guard. She may have even missed that there were guards. Or she met those guards, but that's a little different. She doesn't want to stand by the gate all day. So she asked for directions to get to, headquarters or whatever, and got lost along the way. So she's lost in this big, somewhat dwarvish town. Oh, did I accidentally reload the site? Okay, so let's see. Oh, I did see that this says guildmasters and merchants. And there's an agate quarry. I'm mixing two of the prompts for, let's see, they're called Thalia and Gundamons. I think, honestly, Gundamons sounds better. And if it's mostly dwarf, or it started as dwarf. So, not that you can see the map, although maybe I'll put the map on screen. Let's see. I feel like, so far I know where 2 dwarf cities are. I could either put it nearby some of those, or off in a different section. That'll be kind of interesting to figure out. It's like, well, I know kind of what's, but I know half of what's by each of these things, but I don't know what the other side is. So that could be fun. I don't know if I'll work on that yet. So she gets lost in the town. It's a rich town. She's looking a bit shabby. So I feel like she's starting to kind of get, she gets some looks. No one is currently, for a bit, no one is rude enough to, attack her or anything. But, well, let's see. Does anyone make fun of her? 6. No, but, so she doesn't get made fun of, but she notices lots of people looking at her. Some kind of, point her out, and she feels like there's a strong sense of people noticing her, and she's trying to stay not noticed. She was looking for the guard so that there's not a big story about her, or if people find her, if her cult finds her, she wanted to be protected. She can't feel protected right now, and so she also doesn't want to be noticed. So she starts ducking into alleys. And as she's going through alleys, they get darker and a little colder, a tiny bit dirtier, but it's a fairly rich city. So for a bit, the alleys are fine, but she keeps trying to make her way through them, and then they start to get dirtier and messier. There's more people. People are starting to look a little rougher. It's like the city feels safe, but that doesn't mean there isn't a dark underbelly. It's probably not, it's either not violent because there isn't a town guard and people aren't worried too much about it, or it's small and new enough that they haven't even felt the need. It's like, oh, those dirty people, but nothing like the need for a a full police force to keep them in check or anything like that. So as she is moving along, let's see. How do I want to decide what the person is? So I would say the weather starts to shift. It starts to get colder, and probably starts to rain. Some water starts dripping from the sky. She's been outdoors long enough to know that, being cold and wet is both miserable and probably not good for her. She did okay at learning how to, kind of hide under trees, but this alley is very narrow and very straight walled. And so water is just falling down. It's not like stopped by, blowing against the buildings or rafters and shifts in the building stopping it. So she's starting to get rained on. She has a patched cloak, but that's not much. Let's see. Let me make sure what else she has. She has a sack and a saw. So let's see. As she's walking along, she sees what looks like a pile of boxes for her to, she thinks she might be able to hide under that. Now, is there going to be anyone in there? Someone already using it for shelter. 15. Yes. Okay. Let's see. How many people are there? Is it more than one? It's like a very easy question. 8? No, but okay. So there's not more than one person, but this single person has like 3 cats with them that are all huddled in. The person is looking, a little worse for wear, a little hungry, kind of like her. Although, so she's scrawny, but she's not completely hungry, actually, is Silence. Because it says she has 2 days rations. I feel like she's got like a tiny bit of stuff. She's been very rationing, and so, well, actually, how long did I say she'd been out in the woods? A month? That seems iffy. Maybe a week. She was out in the woods for a week, and then had to come back inside. So, who is this person? Let's do a quick dungeon NPC generator. Random NPC. Default culture, any gender, any race, any class. Class, NPC class. Generate. Tyne Burrup, female halfling. Long face with matted copper hair and light amber eyes. Wears travel-stained clothing. Carries a hawthorn staff. Curious and driven and often gets in way over her head. Okay. I like that. So, Tyne, it says... This says was a merchant. I'm not sure I'm going to go with that. But, so, she's got travel-stained clothing and she has a staff. And there's cats. She's going to... So, Silence is going to kind of peek in and stand there for a minute and then be... May I come in? So let's see what Tyne's reaction is, because how this works is the characters can have a reaction. NPC reactions. Are they going to be hostile, unfriendly, unsure, talkative, or helpful? Or, yeah, I'll just do that. There's basically 2 NPC reaction charts, and the one in version 2 is far more, it's got a range. It's like, let's kill them, to, let's join them. Whereas this is just their hostile, it's like, what level of hostile? So let's see. I'm rolling the wrong dice. This is a D12 that it's supposed to be. I was about to roll a 20. Where are me 12s? That's a 10. Here's a 12. Cool. D12. Actually, wait. Is it? This one says 2D6. Oh, well, I'll use the 12. 6. They're unsure. So, what did I say her name was? Tyne. Tyne is like, I don't know. I mean, I don't want you to be, cold out there, but you're not gonna hurt us, are you? And Silence says, "Oh no. In fact, in fact, I have some food, if in exchange for sharing the shelter with you." And Tyne is like, "Oh yes, yeah, all right, come on." And she tries to scoot over. She's a halfling, so she actually fits really well under the boxes. Silence was planning to hide under them anyway, so she was gonna make herself fit. But it is a little bit of a jumble to get in there, and the cats are definitely not happy. They start meowing at any disturbance. They were kind of cozy in there with their friend, and so all three are a little bit and one tries to scratch at Silence, but she moves her arm away and it doesn't get her, and it just kind of glares and moves around to the other side of the box, and then two of them start getting a little bit of a tussle because that was their side. That was one cat's side, and the other cat is unhappy, so they start doing that. And so as Silence sits down and kind of wraps her cloak around her a little more, she then reaches into her bag and pulls out some rations that she has. I think she'll have actually some. Let's see what lasts good. Bread might last okay, and then she probably has like a little bit that she hunted, which was how I was planning. So she pulls out a few berries, a little bit of hard bread, and some meat. Oh, so that probably means she knows how to make a fire. Doesn't help in the rain. And then so she gives some of those to Tyne, as well as she definitely even gives the cats some meat, and they start cozying up to her immediately. So, with that, I'm going to end it for today, and we'll find out what Tyne and Silence, or Silence and Tyne, and the cats get up to in the city of Gundamunds next time. Thanks for being here. I hope you had fun. This was a lot of character creation and figuring out rules. And I'm excited to see where this goes. I didn't have any idea where I was going to be going into this. Like I said, I kind of expected like a fighter character, but that was just stereotype. And now I have a cultist tiefling who's on the run from her cult, and it's raining, and we now have cats. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Well, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, whether you're listening like a podcast or watching. I expect future episodes to be a little less digging through the rules and learning, and I'll also try to fix things like how my head sits and sound, and all the logistics will be getting worked on. If you enjoyed this and are interested in how my mind works and want to read or see more fantastical stories from me, of course, don't forget to follow the channel. And I also have comics that I have written and drawn, which you can buy on my website. Some examples of those are Tales of Warriors and Wanderers Issue 0, Tales of Warriors and Wanderers Issue 1, and Jam-Packed with Comics, which is collaborations of one-page stories with me and other comic creators. So those are available. Thank you to those of you who have already purchased and read them. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate all of you who watch this, and I hope you'll come back. Thank you so much. Bye!